What have you seen so far from you?
You know, I thought we had a really good summer, really good fall. Today was not a good practice, so you're catching me after not a good day. So I don't know if I have a lot of good things to say, but they've been a hard-working group. We have a lot of new pieces that'll be, pivotal for us to our potential. New people on the court, obviously Ari back, and Riley is back. So we expect those newcomers to play significant roles for us.
Coach, you said that he caught you after a head tail. If you don't mind me asking, how?
We just weren't really sharp today. Focus and the urgency that we've been known to play with, we didn't have that as much as I would have liked. We had it in spurts, but not as long. And I get it's the second day, but standard's the standard, and you have to play to it. So we're learning, we're growing. Like I said, we have some newcomers out there, and so it's about getting them to play to their maximum level as many times as possible.
How do you feel about just the momentum of the program, where you're at now? I mean, it's been kind of building, and the talent and the results seem to be growing year by year. How do you feel about where things are at?
Yeah, I feel good about this team. I mean, the one thing we actually talked about today was how you don't get to carry over momentum on the court in terms of program momentum, right? It's great to write about and read about, but that doesn't score you any points. So this group has to earn it themselves. They don't get to carry over what last year's group did. So they have to understand that you start over again, and you have to earn it with your play. So we've got to do that. And what happened in the past isn't really relevant for this group.
Has there been any major changes that you've noticed in just how NIL and the portal is working, especially too in conjunction as like women's basketball seems to be getting more and more fan interest, financial interest as well?
Yeah, I think there's definitely changes to the environment. There's no doubt. And so managing that and figuring out how to find a way to be competitive within that, I think that's what every school's trying to do. We've been fortunate to be able to continue to recruit at a high level. We're going to have to continue to compete in order to do that. And in this day and age, I think you have to have great relationships with your players, and then I think you have to be developing your players in order to have the best chance to keep them. Doesn't mean you will, but I think that gives you the best chance.
You mentioned among the newcomers that might play some significant minutes for you. What kind of jumps off the page about her so far?
She's got great positional size. So she's 6'1" for a guard. Very skilled and very advanced in her understanding of the game on both ends. So I think she's going to be an impact player for us right away.
You mentioned Eric. Can you talk about her mental toughness coming back from the injury she had and where she's at?
Ari's shown a lot of resilience. I mean, guys, she's a wonderful player. I mean, she's the number 2 center in the country coming out. She's 6'4.5" with a 6'8" wingspan. She's a rim protector. She's someone that brings great length and athleticism to the center position. So I haven't really had a center like her yet in my tenure here. She's versatile, can switch, onto guards. Not for the whole game, but could switch in situations. And like I said, the length. I think we have pretty good positional size for this team. We're switchable. We've always switched a lot, but Emily in 6'1", Ari's 6'4.5", Riley Nelson 6'3", as a wing, and so hopefully that length can help us be disruptive defensively.
Coach, what's been your overall assessment? I know last year you mentioned not being afraid to go to anyone's place to play.
Play Baylor in Paris. Obviously, LSU comes here, play South Carolina, and either UCLA or Texas. Go to South Florida, South Dakota State at home. I mean, it's a bear. But I need to know what I have. And I can't find that out if you win by 60. Like, I can't figure out what you're made of if we're winning by 60. Like, I need to know. And I need to know before we start ACC play. If we have a goal of winning an ACC championship, I need to know what's in the huddle. I need to know what they're made of. And so, that might come with some losses. It could. But then at least I know. And I think that's been key to us progressing through the year and getting to the second weekend in March the last 2 years. I think, because we took some bumps early and we saw the level that needed to be played at in order to win games in March.
Coach, you talked about knowing like who's in the huddle. Obviously, you lose some veterans in Vanessa, Reagan. Who are some of the folks that you anticipate to step into that leadership role and pick up a team after a bad practice like today?
Yeah, Ashlyn and Taina are our seniors. They're senior guards. They've both been starters the last 2 years. And those two, in fairness to them, those two were good both days.
Okay.
And
We'll make sure to mention that.
Yeah, I'm gonna always tell you the truth. They were good. And so their challenge is like how to make other people good. You know, you have an individual responsibility when you come to practice every day. You come to your job every day, and it's your job to be good. That's your job. And if you don't do that, that's a problem. But then if we want to get like to that next level, it's like when you're good and he stinks, can you help him get better? That's what it is. That's what a team is. Because every game, not everybody's going to be great that night. And so how do you do that? And so that's the next step for Ashlyn and Taina, is they've gotten to a point now in their career, and they should as seniors, where they're pretty good every day. They know what to expect, their effort, their communication, all that. Now they've got to do that. And then our junior class has to get to that point as well. I think for us to maximize our potential, I think Jaden and Woody and Delaney are going to have to bring that consistency as well for us.
Considering what Toby did for you last.
I think consistency, honestly. I mean, you remember the start of the year was really rocky. I mean, it was extreme highs and low lows in terms of production for her, specifically against the tougher opponents in the early going. And then the second half of the year, she showed that she could play in any type of game. So I'm looking for that from the beginning, the consistency of performance and the ability to be able to do that in longer stretches. I would guess she played more minutes this year than she did last year. So can she do that in 25 minutes? Can she do that in 30 minutes? Still have the same level of production?